Hi, namaste. My name is Kartika.
Namaste. My name is Sudevi.
So, the both of us have come together today to share with you guys the concept of deliberately creating your life in alignment with God or with source consciousness.
Universe, divine will, existence, just the natural flow of all that is. If we surrender into it with trust, it does bring us to the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reasons.
We are conscious creators of our own realities. We do have the creative power to design our lives. When we design our lives or intend to design our lives from a space of love for ourselves, our own highest expansion, as well as the highest expansion of humanity, the divine will begins to align with that intention and the magic of the universe begins to flow into our experience. Everything in our universe does have a flow, it has an intelligent design. I invite you all to open yourself to allowing this flow into your life. And by allowing this flow, you allow yourself to be supported and you allow yourself to experience abundance and love. And the way that you allow yourself to experience the flow is by getting your fears and getting your frustrations and getting your resistances and your anxieties that's all functioning at this level out of the way of the flow.
The main message of this video is to trust the divine will. When you apply that trust, when you surrender yourself into the higher hands, the higher guidance, you will be brought into the right places at the right time for the right reasons. With the right companionship, the right others will be there to help you and support you and encourage you on the path.
Talking about universal magic, I would not be here on YouTube sharing my journey with you guys had I not bumped into Sudevi's videos 2 years ago and then met her here in India and started my own YouTube journey that completely changed my life.
So the story of how Synchroshakti, how Kartika and I met, it's really interesting. When I was in Bangalore, I would walk every day from the apartment where I was staying to a small grocery store. Maybe not every day, but a couple times a week at least. And there was a particular building that had a picture of an alien on it. I forget exactly what the name of that sign said. Kartika, of course you'll remember. But I would look at the sign for that store, for that building, and wonder kind of what it was. And I would think, boy, I wonder if any starseeds work there. That just looks like the place where there should be a starseed. And that, maybe a week after I had started noticing this, I got a message in my YouTube messages. And this was back when my channel was still a bit smaller, so I didn't have hundreds and hundreds of messages pouring in. I was still checking them regularly. But there was a message from Kartika saying, if you're ever in Bangalore, I would love to meet you. And I thought, how amazing. She doesn't know that I'm in Bangalore. But I wrote her back right away and said, good news, I'm here now, and I've got some time on my hands. And we met. And very, very interestingly, when she gave me the address for her place of work, when I went there to meet her, to that neighborhood, we met at a cafe close by, I noticed her work was exactly the company that I had been looking at that sign, thinking, wow, I bet a starseed works there. So it was just exactly the perfect combination of energies. There was clearly something going on in the ether, bringing us to that meeting place, bringing us to that meeting time. And it just perfectly happened.
It was in fact in a dream that I'd seen of Sudevi talking to me in that very same office building that compelled me to want to go and contact her on social media, and then found out that she was here in India in Bangalore, even though she's from Canada, so I don't know how that happened. And I met up with her and I filmed her at Pyramid Valley. I filmed a video of hers on chemtrails, and it was while I was filming that video of hers that she encouraged me to do something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, which was give a shout out to all those YouTubers back then who had completely impacted my journey. So I turned the camera towards myself and it's all like shaking and I was completely nervous and all you could see were my eyes. I turned the camera and I said, my shout out and everything, and then I turned it back and I was like really nervous about the whole thing. But she uploaded that video, her viewers liked what they saw and they wanted to hear a lot more from me. So she encouraged me to go and start this channel, and so I started this channel 2 years ago. And since then, in the last 2 years, everything that I've been doing today, I've gotten picked up through this YouTube channel to do and to create that impact in the world that I've been wanting to create for so long. So all of this magic didn't come from my conscious understanding because I was still in college and I did not really know anything about any of this or the world of personal development. I knew I was in a spiritual journey, but I didn't know that I could share my journey with others and impact others. So none of this would have happened with just my conscious understanding. So all of this magic actually came from the divine will.
We invite you to flow with that same divine will and to allow things to happen.
I speak a lot about the law of attraction very deeply, knowing that it's just one amongst the many laws that impact our lives. I've always encouraged you guys to deliberately create your realities, but allow the how of how it's going to manifest, who is going to come into your life, what is going to shift, or what places are you going to go to. Allow the how to come from the universal perspective. Get your resistance out of the way, get the ego out of the way, get the frustration out of the way. Just let go and let God.
Personally, I don't think there's a difference between creating our life paths, creating the actions, creating the intentions, doing what needs to be done, and surrendering to the divine will. It's not necessarily either or. When we're surrendered to the divine will and we're willing to do what we need to do in order to live the ideal life, it becomes both and. And that's when the fluidity, the synchronicities, the perfection really, really happens, and happens the most beautifully. See, there are certain people who don't understand exactly what they're here for, exactly what they're supposed to do, exactly what they want out of life. So they surrender and surrender and surrender to the divine will as far as lip service is concerned. They might say Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, but they don't do any meditations, they don't do any yoga. So Mahadeva there, he hears their intention to surrender, he hears their Namaha, but they're not actually in tune with his will. How can they do what he would want them to be doing? Similarly, there are people who feel as if they're empowered, they're enthusiastic, they're energetic, they know what they want out of life. So they work, but get stressed out and they don't see the fruits of their labors. The ideal space to live from in order to manifest the best, in order to really have that law of attraction work, is a place where both the willful surrender and the trust in the divine is there, as well as the personal empowerment and willingness to take right actions is there. So if we're surrendering to God, surrendering to Parameshwara, surrendering to existence, and we are also following through and taking the steps we need to take, making the decisions we need to make, following through with the right actions in life, that's when exactly our path is going to culminate in the highest possible experience. I can say the story of how Kartika and I met, it gives an example of this. She didn't just put it out there to existence with the intention, wow, I'd like to meet Sudevi. She also followed through on her own impetus. She followed through with the action of sending me a message. If she hadn't sent the message, we wouldn't have met. So having the intention, having the surrender to existence, and also taking the right actions, all of those are essential in order for the law of attraction to really work and in order to create what we want in life.
If you're watching this on my channel, Synchroshakti, Sudevi is no unknown, but if you don't know who this magical, mystical lady is, her name is Nithya Sudevi. Her channel is etched with spirituality, divine consciousness, mysticism, with a profound knowledge of Hindu spirituality and divine inspiration. So if you want to go ahead and listen to what she has to say, the link is somewhere here on the screen, as well as in the description box to her channel, and I encourage you to go and check her out.
So if you're watching this on my channel and you've never seen or heard of Kartika before, check out her channel, Synchroshakti. She makes stunningly beautiful music. I think the Mahamrityunjaya mantra is one that you've done, huh, Kartika? She does some gorgeous songs. She's a great guitarist, a beautiful vocalist. And also she gives discourses about spirituality. She shares her personal experiences. She talks on similar topics to the ones I share, but also on some that I've never spoken about. So it'll change things up for you a bit. You can experience her, listen to her.
This is us sending you lots of love and lots of light.
Thank you for watching. Namaste.